Hey guys, thanks for joining me. Today we're going to be looking at the amazing solo Zakk Wild plays in the Ozzy Osbourne classic Miracle Man. Let's take a look. Alright guys, so before we get too excited, we just need to talk about the tuning, which is E flat standard, which goes E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, B flat, and another E flat. So get yourself in tune and we'll get started. Alright guys, let's take a look at the first section. We're going to start off with this 3-note suspended arpeggio idea. What I've got here is I'm starting from 12 of the second string, and then I want to play 9 to 14 on the first. So we've got this. We're essentially going to repeat that 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At the end of that, I add one more note, and that will complete sort of the 16 notes in the sort of 16th sound to that bar. The next thing I've got is just another sort of basic minor triad. I'm playing 14 of the second string into 12, 16 on the first. Once again, I'm doing the same idea 5 times and then just ending on the single note. Back to back. Hopefully that's all making sense. And then I work into this phrase. This is kind of similar, but on the 5th arpeggio, I change things up a little bit. So what I'm doing here is I'm playing 17 of the second string, 15 of the second string, and then 14, 17 of the first. That will create in standard tuning sort of a major triad. I've got the same thing 4 times, but on the 5th time, I go like this. So I'm just hanging out on that 14th fret for 3 picks on the first string. So I'll play that last phrase again. Then I go into the crazy F sharp minor pentatonic lick. So you'll notice that my fingering, when I played the playthrough before, I kind of go from this 45-degree angle, but then I go to this sort of flat thing with the bar there. I'm not exactly sure if that's how Zakk does it, but I've just found that I've got the most speed out of that. There is a lot of speed required to do this, and I would suggest sort of messing around with that 45-degree angle grip, or what I call the straight taco grip. So let's go through that pentatonic lick a little bit slower. I'm going to be playing 19-14 of the first, and then 17-14 on the second. I'm going to do the same thing again, but then I just play 17-14 of the first, 17-14 on the second. So we're going to go... I'm going to repeat that whole idea twice. At the end of that, I'm going to be playing 16, 14, 16 on the 3rd string. You can add a bit of cheeky vibrato on that before you go back to the start of the next chunk. So all together nice and slow. Let's go right back to the start of this section, and then we'll work on the second half. Okay, we're going to repeat the first 3 arpeggios in an absolutely identical fashion, and then we're going to end it a little bit differently. At the end of that, I work into this phrase that's quite pentatonic. I've got a bend in and out from 17 of the second string, pulling off to 14. And then I do a similar idea, but from 16 to 14. On the 3rd string, still the F sharp minor pentatonic, I guess, and I want to do that idea 3 times. And then we'll work into the second section from there. So that is the whole thing. Let's take it slowly from the top, and then we'll do it even slower with some tabs. One more time with some tabs. Alright guys, let's have a look at the second section. We're going to start off with this bend on 4 of the 3rd string. I'm going to hit it twice at the top. And at the start of the next bar, I'm going to start descending that bend with a quarter note triplet pulse. So it's going to go ba 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 ba. So we're going to have 6 notes gradually working their way down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, then I work into this phrase. Now, obviously, with a bit more distortion, that'll carry out. But what I'm doing here, I'm going up and down on that 4th fret bend. Then at the top of that bend, I'm tapping 7th fret. Now, the interesting thing about this is that Zakk slides all the way to 21. If you've got a bit more distortion, that will sort of saturate the signal and kind of keep it sustained. Then you want to drag that all the way to 21 and do a whole step bend. You won't need to tap it again like I just did then, but if you've got enough distortion, that'll work. So this is what we should have thus far from the start of the section. You will also notice that I'm not doing the tap and then bending with my right arm. All the action's happening over here, so it's almost going... All of that's happening from this note. From this bending part here, this is just playing a sort of a different pitch with my right hand. So don't worry too much about trying to bend the tap. Do all the work on the left hand, fretting hand, whichever way you're inclined. Then we work into this phrase. So the interesting thing about the start of this is I'm playing 3 notes on the same fret. I've got a single note from 11 of the 3rd string, and then I bend up, and then I bend back down again. So I'm going... And then I go back to 9 of the 3rd string. So it's a lot of action there. It's got a nice little attitude to it. So after I've gone back to 9 on the 3rd string, I want to play 11-9 on the 3rd and 11-9 on the 4th, which is this. So with the bend phrase in front of that, we'll add a bit more speed and play the whole thing twice. Hopefully that's making sense. Then I work into this phrase. What I've got here is kind of sliding into what would be a C-sharp dominant chord. I just don't have the root note. So I'm playing 8 of the 2nd, 9 of the 3rd, 8 of the 4th, and then I'm going to slide that in a semitone. So after I've gotten there, I'm going to add 2 dead notes to sort of add a bit of jangle to that funk, and I go like this. So it's the same thing twice. At the end of that, big bend from 12 of the 2nd string. So we're going from the chunk before that, we'll have this now. Hopefully that's all making sense, and then we work our way into the unison bend idea to finish it off. So let's have a look at the unison bends, and then we'll put it all together from the start of the section, and then once again we'll add tabs at the end as well to make it nice and easy for you guys. I'm just working through the scale diatonically from the 2nd string, and then I'm just adding in that unison bend idea from 2 frets apart, 1 string above. So I'm starting off on 2 and 4. Then if I'm following my pointer, I'm playing 4, 5, 7. Okay, and then from there I want to go 9, 10, 12. It's going to end on the 12 and the 14 bend there. And then we've got a big bend from 17 of the 2nd string. And that's the whole thing. I'll play that unison bend idea one more time. All right, let's go right back to the start of the section, play it at a gentlemanly pace, and then do it again, even slower with some tabs. One more time with some tabs. And that was the solo from Miracle Man. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And if you want tabs to this lesson and anything else that I've done, please join up with my mailing list via the links in the description box. I also have multiple video courses and books out at the moment if you wanted to get your hands on those. My most recent being the Exotic Scales book. Worked really hard on that. I got a couple of others in the works as well, so you can check those out. I'm also in a band called Terra Maze. If you want to check us out, that would be very lovely. We just released a single, Blemish, today if you guys want to check that out. Anyway, hope you guys are having a lovely day. Enjoy the shred, and I'll be back with some more content very soon. Take care.